Wednesday, June the 3rd, and I want to read from Daniel chapter 6. Then Darius the king wrote to all the peoples, nations, and men of every language who were living in all the land, "May your peace abound. Make a decree that in all the dominion of my kingdom men are to fear and tremble before the God of Daniel. For he is the living God and enduring forever, and his kingdom is one which shall not be destroyed, and his dominion will be forever." Daniel's a very interesting case. He rises up to the point after being taken into captivity of where he becomes King Darius's main man. He's one of his top advisors. And Darius had guys that didn't like that very much. And so they began to look for things in Daniel's life that they could use against him. They couldn't find anything. I don't know about you, but probably some of the most mind-numbing things that I've ever been through has been background checks. When I was in Pennsylvania, they had passed the Act 153, I think, if I remember right. And it forced multiple layers of background checks for anybody that was going to be doing anything regarding children in the state. Now, that's working at a summer camp, working at a school, helping out at church, whatever it may be. Even if you were just helping as a volunteer, not a professional minister, they required you to get multiple layers of background checks, whether it be criminal, child abuse checks, all those things had to be got. And those three the copies of each of those three had to be kept in the church. Just in case. Background checks can be very stressful at times, especially if you're needing to do it for a job or whatnot. So imagine Daniel knowing that these men are going around and looking into him. Now, what's interesting is they found nothing. They could not find a single thing about his character that was untoward. They couldn't find anything about Daniel that would give them a crack in order to slip in there and fracture that relationship or cause a lack of confidence in him. Everything he said checked out. Everything he did was backed up by his life. He walked the walk. He talked the talk. And so it made it very difficult for him to be unseated from his position as a top advisor to King Darius. So they did the best thing they could do. They tried to use his faith against him. And in the end, we all know what happened in the lion's den in that account. And when God rescued him from the lion's den, Darius made the proclamation I read to you earlier. What would your enemies find about you if they did a deep dive and just sat and watched you for days and days and days? Would they see that the talk that they see on Facebook or church or anywhere else in the community was backed up by the way that you lived? See, these men would watch Daniel, and all they ever saw him do was go to his window and pray. They'd go to his window and pray. He was a man of faith, and it was evident by his life. When people look at us, if they were to follow us, if we were to have a deep dive background check done on us, what would they find? Would they find that you are a person of faith? That you backed up what you said? It's a tough question. And only you can answer that question, just like I can only answer that question for myself. But I can tell you this. Every day, God sees everything that we do. What's he seeing? Are you backing up what you publicly profess? Or is it all an act, and you're still doing what you want instead of what God wants? Take time today and figure that out. And fix whatever needs fixed. I hope you have a great day today. And don't forget, tonight at 6:30 on Facebook Live, we continue our study of Hebrews. We'll see you then.